Woo! Let's go. This OTA is fantastic. They hit almost everything they should. They buffed some cards that are actually going to be in the meta now. I need to clear my glasses off. Did Second Dinner actually just hit a home run? It sure looks like it. Let's get started talking about the OTA with the single biggest change. Human Torch is finally nerfed. It's a really simple nerf. He goes um from a 3-3 to a 3-2. Second Dinner notes how big of a nerf this is to move decks, right? Move decks, which are sort of predicated on the power of the card Human Torch, are now, well, he takes a lot more to get going, right? In the decks where you're going to move him 4, 5 times, he's going to be nearly as good. Your first move is going to make him a 3-4, though, not a 3-6. But the big one is your second move, because very often that 312 to 324, the second to third move is where it's at. That second move, 3-4, 3-8, then 3-16. Difference between 16 and 24 is huge. Difference between 8 and 12 is huge. Human Torch is in the mud. This is going to make people stop playing move for the foreseeable future, unless some move player, Sizer, decides to take this as a challenge. And from what I understand, he is not. He's going to play something else for now. Unless some move player decides to take this as a challenge to make the deck still work, I don't think it still works. I think they have officially pushed Human Torch out of the meta, which is going to change and open up a ton of things. That mini move deck that was often at the mercy of Mercury, Werewolf by Night often at the mercy of Mercury. We're going to get a lot less Mercury, and those decks get a huge buff in addition to taking out what has been the most consistent S tier deck over the last year of Marvel Snap. I decided to try and put together a Human Torch deck just to see what would happen, and I think right now you're going to need Aranya, you're going to need Sparky, and you're going to need either Fanfei or Hercules. One of those two cards is going to be a required card right now, I think, because you're going to need to be able to get that extra move out to have any hope of winning with this deck. In order to do that, I had to cut the protection, right? We don't have Juggernaut, we don't have Cosmo. If Shadow King is still prominent, this deck doesn't exist. If Shadow King goes away, we can talk, right? If for whatever reason either Shadow King is nerfed, he's not in this OTA. If the Shadow King is nerfed out of the meta or people just stop playing him, we can discuss this still being good, this still being really powerful. But for right now, I don't expect this to see any play. I think they effectively killed Move with a single point change. In addition, we have War Machine. War Machine goes from a 4-6 to a 5-9. So last month they tried to nerf Storm to a 3-1 and say, look, people stop playing Storm War Machine Legion. They did not. It didn't matter. The combo deck still worked. Well, this completely breaks that combo deck. And they promised to give us a rework of Storm to be something cooler. Okay, I actually think Storm's pretty cool as is, but I wouldn't mind a cooler Storm. Storm's one of the coolest characters in all of Marvel. This is a huge buff for most War Machine decks. Whether you're running Nightmare, whether you're running Infinite, whatever you're running, getting a 5-9 set of a 4-6 is great here. The real beauty is that War Machine decks were very often A, playing War Machine on 5, so you're just getting 3 extra power when you do that. B, they were running cards like Luna Snow. They were running cards like Hope Summers. They were running cards like name of card missing. They're running cards like name of card still missing. Electro, thank you. There it goes. Uh, they were doing all of these cards as a way to like be able to say, okay, so if I skip turn 5, I can still go She-Hulk Infinite, right? If I don't see War Machine. Well, now you just play War Machine on turn 5, or you can still play it on turn 4. It just has more power. This is pure upside for everything but that Storm War Machine Legion deck. Celebrating right now has to be Pixie Enjoyer with his War Machine combo deck. This deck can have like Shuri War Machine into like Taskmaster. That's completely stupid. It can still play what it loses is it can't go Adam Warlock into War Machine pass, but like after Warlock you're passing anyway, right? Because you want that all that energy on turn 5. So playing War Machine wasn't really adding anything. You can still play Infinite and She-Hulk in those places. So now you can go War Machine Shuri pass and be just fine. You can still go Hope into Shuri, pass, and then play your She-Hulk and Infinite. You don't lose any of that stuff. You just get the ability to play War Machine 2. And War Machine only being one less power than She-Hulk means you don't have to like even stress it that way. I think this is a huge, huge, huge change. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of decks like this. We're going to see a lot more of Nightmare decks. I think the War Machine change is huge. All right, next up we got Morgan Le Fay. That's right, I did not have this on my bingo card. Morgan was a 4-7, now she is a 3-4. She's still returning all discarded and destroyed cards to your hand with +3 power, but now it's far easier to fit her into curve. The real beauty here is playing her on turn 5. You can play her with Carnage. You can play her with other powerful cards. What this does kill is Airwalker. Airwalker is now one of the worst cards in the game until someone comes up with another combo. It's in a once in a blue moon negative deck, and I don't know where else it goes. Airwalker was Morgan's best friend, and they don't work together. But this is a huge buff to Weapon X Wolverine, the new Season Pass card. By the way, if you'd like that Season Pass card for free, you can get it by commenting on this video. Someone who comments on this video is getting that Weapon X for free if you're interested. But I think that this is going to make Morgan a meta card whenever Pure Destroy isn't meta. Pure Destroy eats Morgan Le Fay decks. If you're seeing a Deadpool deck that just straight up beats a Morgan deck, like you're like, oh my god, I have to play all these cards, and they play null, and you've made their death free. Right? That's insane. That deck is prominent this week, especially right now, thanks to the hot location. It goes away. Actually, the hot location's gone by the time you see this. So, like, that deck is going to be prominent while Weapon X is out. It's going to be prominent for parts of the season. Fine, don't play Morgan this week. In a week, I think Morgan is huge, and Morgan is now going to be the best Weapon X deck. And I think that deck is basically this deck. This is the deck that we're looking at. I could see us running Adamantium Infusion here. I don't know if I care to. I like the idea of being able to like eat my Weapon X and then bring it back double power. But like, there's nothing I want to do that with besides Weapon X, really, right? Like, although there are Fire Hair shenanigans you can do to like Fire Hair and immediately have Fire Hair copy the Weapon X. If you if you bring back a Venom on the if you bring back a Venom with Adamantium Infusion and you have Fire Hair out, Fire Hair will also go off and trigger an Adamantium Infusion something else, which is pretty cool. It's just a nice little combo of stuff you can do, but I don't know. At, I don't know if that's worth it in this deck. I think this deck just has enough points to like just be more than good enough right now. This deck seems really, really, really strong. I want to play it. I think Weapon X might end up being the worst card in the deck still, but I want to play it. I think this deck has enough points that if Destroy is not everywhere, this is going to be both fun and powerful. Before we go forward, if you haven't yet, please hit a sub, like, and comment. This is I don't know, next March 4th will be March 4th or March 6th, one of the two. Will be 3 straight years of Marvel Snap videos with 0 days missed. If you want to support the most consistent and the most new decks that you can ever get in Marvel Snap to keep the game fun, hit that sub, leave a like, leave a comment. In addition, I'll be streaming tomorrow morning with the great Not My Dunce and I think the Pirate King Tucker question mark. I haven't heard from Tuck yet. Yo, Tuck, get at me. We should be going over all the cards of the new season and all of these OTA changes. Our season pass question: if you'd like to enter to win that free Weapon X, if you want to play that Morgan deck or any other Weapon X deck, all you got to do is let me know your OTA review. You can't let me know it now because we got some more changes. I haven't even gotten to the one I'm most excited for. That one's at the end of the video. They made Elsa a 3/5. She still gets +2, but she's a 3/5. That all of a sudden is really nice, right? Making her 3/8 was nice, but making her 3/9 is absolutely incredible. Like 3/9 is a breakpoint. 8 to 9 is a breakpoint for 3 drops. 8's really good, but that's Gladiator. I don't want to do work to get Gladiator. 3/9, now we're starting to look at upside, right? Because now an extra trigger, we got 3/11. Oh, that's starting to look a little bit like Zombie Scarlet Witch. It doesn't have a giant man to really put over the top, but I think it has some uses. It could also just go in the zombie deck, right? If you decide to play a zombie deck that's not all in on skills, a lot of the zombie decks are very, very heavy on skills. But if you go the non-skill route, like our friend It's Guest Gaming, hey Guesty, did back when he hit Infinite last season, then feel free to run this version. This version will do that for you. You almost, out of Elsa, get sort of an extra Zombie Scarlet Witch, which is obviously insanely strong. You can even play those cards in the same lane and then use Kitty to continually buff your Horde while also buffing Kitty from Elsa, and there's a ton of power in that. This deck is going to be really cool, really powerful. I don't know if Elsa's in the best version of this deck, but now that we have to look at and consider her in both this and Surfer, and probably in some Mysterio decks, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I don't want Elsa to ever be what she was when she came out, but I'm happy to see her be a prominent card again. A change that didn't make sense until I looked at upcoming cards, Swordmaster is back to a 3/7. This is one of those reminder updates. Every once in a while they change a card just to be like, hey friends, by the way, you should probably be looking at this card with this other new card coming out. Well, Weapon H is 7/14 and coming out, which means that we're going to have a Swordmaster Hella Weapon H deck. Weapon H is the spotlight next week. When discarded, put this back with -2 cost. So that is a 7/14. That's going to be, if you play Swordmaster, you get a 3/7, and then you have a 5/14. That seems like a good thing to me. I mean, maybe I'm crazy here, right? But then we have all these other discards. We can run a Lady Sif into a Swordmaster and get it down to a 3/14. 3/14s are usually going to win games in Marvel Snap. Although, what I'm really just going to do is I'm going to play Hella. I'm going to throw Chamber in the deck because I got enough big stuff here, and I'm going to play me some Hella, right? Like, I'm just going to say I've got two 7 or more power cards. Sorry, three 7 or more power cards. I've got the Infinite. I probably need another 6 outside of Infinite. That's actually what Black Cat will be. Excuse me. I put when I put this together, I used an older version, and I didn't realize I only had one 6. But I'll probably end up putting in. Oopsie, wrong button. I'll probably end up putting in Galactus first steps here over Black Cat, and then when I play my Hella, I will get back an Infinite and a Scar or Weapon H or a Death, or I'll just be able to play a Weapon H as I've discarded a bunch of stuff. All that shit seems really great to me. I don't know. I'm about this life. I'm just sort of about this life as an experiment, as a thing I can try to do, as a way to like the versions of Hella that can win without seeing Hella, or can win without a huge Hella, are really, really kind of strong. And I think that this is a good place to try that. Next up, we got Dormammu, and the bus will continue until morale improves. He is now 713. They're just trying to make him big enough to matter. He's still really predictable, and that makes him really hard to use. His predictability means that he is rough to use, and people have kind of moved on from him because everyone knows all his play patterns. It's possible he ends up good with Morgan, especially with Morgan as a 3 drop, because then you can play 3/2 and do a bunch of shenanigans with his last spell. But my working assumption is that until they make him ungodly huge, so big that he like always wins a lane, or they release an extra consistency piece for him, he's just not going to be that great. I do think this is a nice change, but it's not the one I'm excited about. I think this Dormammu deck seems reasonable to me. I added an extra destroy card. Fastball Special is not out till later in the month. Fastball Special is a 2 cost skill that destroys the highest power enemy card here and chucks it at the opponent, afflicting them with that negative power. That's obviously good with Werewolf by Night. That's obviously good with Dormammu, right? Like Dormammu just needs that first destroy to happen. I will happily just like America Chavez to get my shit going on turn 2, or I can do that on turn 4 after I play Werewolf and immediately start going off. That those are all completely freaking fine plays to me. I can go Luna into Werewolf, Fastball Special, blowing up Luna. Lots of or blowing up something else of one of my 1 drops of Demon. Who cares? Lots of stuff. And since they get the negative power, I don't feel like bad about Fastball Specialing it. I think that this is probably pretty good for Dormammu. I just talked a bunch about Fastball Special, which I'm much more excited about. But this is a probably one of the better Dormammu shells, and another deck I'm excited to try. Except that Classic Destroy will beat the pants off this. So if I can beat Classic Destroy with this, we'll start talking. Or if Classic Destroy falls out of the meta, this is going to be great. Next up, this is still not the one I'm excited about, but the player, but squad is going to be unbelievably happy. This Helicarrier goes from a 610 to a 612. 612 means it's now big enough to play when you need to. 610 is kind of junky if it doesn't make itself cheaper or grow in some way. 612 is good. However, they're just buffing butt cards at this point. They buffed Mbaku to a 1/3. They're buffing Helicarrier. Apparently, butt has an in with the devs. Don't you heard it here first, everybody? The devs are in butt's pocket. All right, this is actually a really good deck. Oh, I don't think White Queen's supposed to be here. I think I threw White Queen into test, but whatever. Who cares? This is Butt's Vicky Hand deck. Oh, there's an updated version of this. That's what I did wrong. Wait, what the hell? I completely grabbed the wrong deck. Hi, the Vicky Hand deck. I grabbed the wrong deck here. My bad. I will have that Butt deck for you tomorrow. Let's cover in a full review that Butt Helicarrier deck tomorrow. It is a deck that runs Zombie Power Man and I saw the Vicky hand and I just grabbed the wrong thing. It runs here. Let's look at Helicarrier really talk. It runs Zombie Giant Man. It runs Colonel America, and then it runs Victoria Hand and Helicarrier and some other cards, right? As a way to basically say, all right, Victoria Hand will make me a Helicarrier card, and I build my own Arishem by running like Corvus Glaive and stuff, and I've got all these extra cards that are all buffed and or cheaper from Corvus. Sorry, cheaper from Quinjet, or have more energy from Corvus. And then I buff them all with Vicky Hand, and I win. Now, Helicarrier is slightly better in that deck. Yay! All right. Next up, this is the one I'm excited about. Spider-Man Noir is now a 4/4. Oh no! On reveal, set the top card of your deck's power to 8. Okay. So like this was in a lot of those Iron Man and Gore decks, and now those are excited, right? It's in a lot of Surfer decks, and now those are excited. That is a like guaranteed +4 to whatever the hell it hits. That seems really good. Hell, I could see this in Zombie Galactic decks. If your other cards in play cost exactly 8 total, add it here. Again, I'm about this life, right? Now that 8 is an extra thing, I can add it, but even if not, I'm perfectly happy to get that 8. This is going to be insane with this card, Maverick. Maverick is a 3/3 activate. Give the next card you play power equal to this card's power. So if I can hit that with an 8, whether it plays itself or not, giving 8 power to my next card is going to win a lot of games of Marvel frickin' Snap. Coincidentally, even when Noir was a 4/6, Heart of the Cards was like, oh, I think this is going to be meta with Maverick. Well, here we are, right? So we play, I don't know, we play Awesome Andy for 2. Then Bakari pops out for 5. Then we play, I don't know, who cares, right? Like, we play whatever other 3 we want to play on turn 3. We play a Carter. We play a Maverick. We play whatever 3 we get, Cosmo, whatever 3 we want to play on 3. Then we play Spider-Man Noir on 4, and it's going to trigger. That seems good to It seems quite good to me. Are we going to be able to get buff decks back with this? I tend to think so. I think this is a legitimate. I'm choking on nothing. Excuse me. This is a legitimately really powerful card now. They took one of the worst cards they've released in a while, and they, I think, made it meta. I'm very, very, very excited to try this in like 5 or 6 different shells. This might end up too good. I genuinely think being able to like make an 8-power Iron Man, an 8-power Gore is going to change some stuff up in Marvel Snap real big. And you don't have to play it, right? Like if you're like, oh no, I have 12 power and there's nothing good left in the deck, you can hold it and it's a 4/4 and you don't care. But when you play it, it is it's basically always a 4/12, right? Because it's gonna ideally it's hitting like a 0, I guess, and it could even be more, right? Like let's say you hit a brood, you're giving 6 power to 3 broodlings, so that's 12, 18 power. Like even if you're paying an extra 3 for that, you're gonna play brood anyway, right? That's crazy, crazy strong. All right, there's 3 cards that I wanted to see nerfed that are not here. They are Victoria Hand. We're gonna have to end this video. Sorry, apparently my throat has given up on me. There are Victoria Hand, Cerebro, and Shadow King. I think all 3 of those need a nerf. Cerebro needs to go back to either giving 2 power or have some other nerf, maybe make it 4. Victoria Hand should at least be a 2/2, and Shadow King needs to go down to a 3/3, although he's a 3/4 to keep him out of Cerebro too. So maybe 3/2 is the right answer. But whatever, those 3 cards actually need nerfs pretty badly, and they're not here. So I'd like to see that happen. Certain tier support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks, and my dear patrons, please excuse me for this video as my voice is going. Much love and much appreciation. I'll be back tomorrow for the podcast. I promise to shout you out then. Thank you, thank you, thank you, patrons. I will talk about you tomorrow. First video, I'm skipping a view because I'm going to go drink something because this really hurts. All right, much love, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I hope you like these decks. I'm really, really excited for this OTA. Peace.